Greetings and welcome to another Tomorrow's World webcast. The topic I have to talk about today is, in a lot of ways, a difficult one. You surely have seen it in the news. Please tell me that you've seen it in the news, because the only reason you would not have seen it in the news, it would be just because the news isn't doing its job. As far as I'm concerned, it's a huge story. And it concerns these videos that were published, these undercover videos, two of them on July 14th and July 21st, concerning the harvesting of organs by those associated with Planned Parenthood for others, the harvesting of organs from aborted children. And the videos demonstrate people sort of talking about the price of those organs. Not because they're just selling them out on the street, they're selling them to companies that seem to find it helpful to have organs of aborted children. And they're talking about the price, and they work around the legalities and such. Let me be upfront, it's not the legalities and the politics that I'm here to talk about. We just don't get into that in Tomorrow's World. But I do want to read a couple of selections from one of the videos. The very first one that aired actually on July 14th. The woman is at dinner, and the woman, I don't want to go into names or anything, it's not my concern, but the representative of the person, part of the abortion industry, is talking about how she works hard to make sure they harvest really good organs in good shape. And she makes the following comment. She says she'd say a lot of people want a liver. Apparently a child's liver is a very popular item. She says we've been very good at getting heart, lung, liver because we know that. So I'm not going to crush that part. I'm going to basically crush below. I'm going to crush above. And I'm going to see I can get it all intact. Just speaking so callously of what is being done with the body of a human being, the body of a child, that, well, I'll just make sure we only crush the right parts and we don't crush the stuff we want to be able to harvest. Frankly, the discussion right after that in the video concerned harvesting the child's skull as intact as they could. And I can't bring myself to read on camera the details of that. I don't know who's seeing this. I don't know if you've got children around or something, but it's absolutely horrific. Some of the discussion in the media is about whether it's legal or not. Some of the discussion concerns, well, you know, this really shouldn't be that big a deal. It happens all the time. It's within certain standards of what's acceptable. Frankly, I find that more horrifying. The idea that these kinds of discussions of harvesting organs from children in the womb as if it's a food product, as if it's simply a product. The idea of talking about that is just business as usual would be even more horrifying than if this wasn't something unusual. How do we react to news like this? For those who actually believe in the words of the Bible, how do we react? Regrettably, a lot of people are going to turn it into political talking points. They're going to do their best to turn it into something to campaign on. And like I mentioned earlier, we here at Tomorrow's World, we're not interested in the politics of this world. We're here to talk about being representatives of another world, a world to come, a world ruled by God through His Son, Jesus Christ. And I can tell you this, He has very specific things to say about that. Actually, it's really fascinating. In prophecy, Revelation chapter 18, verses 12 through 13, it talks about the major power of the day, the economic, political, military power of the day, actually making merchandise, it says, of the souls and bodies of human beings. Why is that such a horror? Because human beings, from their earliest moments till their last ones, are made in the very image of God. We are not animals. We're not worms or rats or raccoons or dogs. We're human beings made in the image of God Himself. And to simply treat a human body as something to be harvested for its organs, if you're someone who actually believes anything concerning morality in the Bible, that should be something that bothers you. It should be something that bothers me. In particular, as a passage that's beautifully inspiring when read for that purpose, in Psalm 139. In that chapter, King David is wondering at his own creation, wondering at the beauty of his own body and design. And he mentions there, speaking to God, He says, "For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb." You formed my inward parts and covered me in my mother's womb. What does that tell us? What that tells us is the heart that they're harvesting out of that child, that heart was formed by God. The liver they're harvesting out of a human child, that liver was formed by God. The skull that they're trying to get out intact for whatever purposes they have, that was woven and formed by God. And it tells us another thing too, that those who believe in this country, those who believe that this means nothing, a country that allows this, it tells us that God keeps that in mind. And it tells us there is a day coming when God Himself is going to provide a reckoning. The Bible makes it absolutely clear how God feels about these things. The real question is how you and I feel about these things. Thank you for watching.